president tweeted last hour that White House counsel Don McGahn will be leaving his position in the fall, saying, quote, shortly after the confirmation, hopefully, of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court, I have worked with Don for a long time and truly appreciate his service. So who will be his successor? Axios is reporting today that McGahn is pulling for Emmett Flood, who joined the White House in May to help President Trump with the Russia investigation. Joining me now is MSNBC contributor and former assistant special Watergate prosecutor, Jill Wine-Banks. Jill, good to see you. We have been talking for a few days about McGahn being on his way out, and some have associated that with the idea that Donald Trump is very seriously considering a pardon for Paul Manafort, and that McGahn is not on board with that, and he has suggested that if McGahn doesn't get on board, he's replacing him. What do you make of this announcement?
I think it's a good thing for McGahn, who has been a voice of reason, so it seems from the outside. He has said no to Donald Trump and seems to have had some impact on it. So I'm sorry to see him going, because we need someone in that position who is willing to tell truth to power and to say, no, you can't do that. No, you shouldn't do that. No, it's not good politically. No, it's illegal. And I don't know Emmett Flood. I hope that he will have the same courage. I always thought during Watergate, if John Dean had spoken up sooner rather than when he did, maybe we would have avoided the whole Watergate scandal. So it just takes a very strong person. It's one of the biggest lessons of Watergate.
But at the same time, the president, we have learned last night, has been talking about firing Jeff Sessions now as late as this month. That's not a big surprise, I think, to us, because we've been talking about it for a long time. He's been tweeting about Jeff Sessions. Strangely, Jeff Sessions seemed to grow a spine last week and talk about how the Justice Department under Sessions will not be politicized. And it seems like a few Republican senators took him out to breakfast a little while ago and said, fight on, stick around, don't resign. On the other hand, senators like Lindsey Graham, who were saying they'd be wholly hell to pay if Sessions were fired, are now saying maybe his time's up and it's time for someone else. How significant is the potential departure of Sessions in this politicized environment?
In a normal environment, it should be a dramatic problem. But I'm afraid that America has gotten almost inured and numbed to the corruption in the White House, and firing the Attorney General, which could easily be viewed as, and properly so, as obstructing the investigation of the Russia interference in our election, will probably just be one more thing that Donald Trump gets away with. I hope that's not the case. I hope that America will rise in anger if he is fired. And I don't think it's going to make a difference whether it is before the election or after, although obviously they're trying to avoid interfering in the midterm elections. But the anger should be the same afterward, because if it is interfering in the investigation that is going on, in which Donald Trump is a subject, even if he's not a target, we're looking at his people, at his campaign, and at his conduct, his relatives' conduct. And that investigation has to go on, and firing Jeff Sessions should not be tolerated. And if he is fired, the next one, whoever is appointed, must agree to not interfere in the investigation, to support Mueller, and to give him his independence. That's what was required after the firing of Attorney General Richardson.
So this is interesting that you say that, because just last week on Fox News, the president said that had he known that Sessions would recuse himself, he wouldn't have made him the Attorney General. He wants loyalty. He said, what kind of a man is that? So the point is, Donald Trump simply won't want to appoint someone who doesn't give him some sort of loyalty pledge. But you're saying that if he doesn't, if this person doesn't recuse themselves or doesn't say that they'll let the investigation go on, that prompts some sort of crisis.
I'm not saying he has to recuse himself. The recusal of Jeff Sessions was absolutely mandatory under Department of Justice rules. He was involved in the campaign. He was involved in the very conduct that was under investigation. He could not oversee it any more than Donald Trump can oversee it, despite Donald's claim that he can. But even if he doesn't recuse himself, does not mean that he has to take away the independence of the special counsel. That has to be permitted. And that's, as I say, that's what happened as part of confirming the replacement for Elliot Richardson. There was a requirement that the investigation continue unimpeded and without any interference from the Attorney General.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.